Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Unathletic podcast. I am your host, Tom, and I am with your co host, Colin. Colin, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yeah. We have our first guest, Lewis. Welcome.
Hello.
So, today's topic is just F1 in general. We will be going over, in this order particularly, we'll be going all over the Singapore qualifying that's literally just happened. We will then move on to Baku and the race there. And then right at the end, we'll finish off with who we think will fill in the rest of the seats because there's two left, and who we think will win the championship out of Lando or Max. So we'll jump straight in. So, first off, the qualifying. What do you guys want to start off with? Where do we want to
Um,
start with that?
the decent qualifying, red flag Q3, but there was still so much time left, so the red flag didn't matter. Uh, Ferrari 9-10 when they were predicted to be fighting McLaren here, but now they're 9-10, and Singapore is not the easiest track to overtake on. So
Definitely not.
excited to see how the Ferraris do.
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely looking at the Red Bulls in particular, being that, you know, how much of a difference Adrian Newey actually made to Red Bull. Because as soon as Adrian Newey left, everyone caught up massively. And it just makes you think, really, was it Adrian Newey that kept Red Bull alive for so long?
Yeah.
Because Perez being 13th and Max being what, like second, third? You
Second.
know, it's not great. You know, for a team that have been so dominant over the last couple of seasons. So
Yeah, go on, Lewis.
it's
What you got to say?
Basically, despite that, Ricardo might be losing his seat uh tomorrow, but basically what you said earlier, Ferraris were supposed to be fighting McLaren, and that ended poorly.
Yeah, speaking on Ricardo, yeah, I think this is his last race with VCARB. I think it's time to get Lawson in the seat, and if they get Lawson in the seat, that's who will fill that VCARB spot for next year.
yeah. I mean, I think we've known it for a really long time. It's just no one wants to like no one wants to admit it because he's so loved. But Ricardo's time is over, and it is so clear that his time is over.
Yeah,
And it was clear. Uh, it was clear at McLaren, and it was starting to become a lot clearer at um. Oh, where was he before that? Renault.
Renault. Yeah, I mean, besides him at Red Bull, I think Renault was some of the best years he was driving. Even though it was only 2 years he was with Renault, a year or two, I don't remember. But some of his best driving, especially in a car at that, what it was at the time,
For
he
for
got the
what for
best he could do
especially in
out
that
of it.
second season. Especially in that second season, he really showed that that it wasn't a mistake leaving Red Bull.
Yeah,
But just all of a sudden, it was like I understand why he left to go to McLaren, but I think it was just too early.
Yeah.
I think him going to McLaren after 2 years with Renault, it was just another swap, and I think it got to him as well.
Well, I think Ricardo leaving Renault for McLaren was, yes, like you were the man at Renault, but at the same time, when you got a team like McLaren at the time who wasn't that quick, but had the potential to be quick, because you seen what Carlos did. Carlos put that McLaren
Oh
on the
yeah, hundred
podium
percent.
twice. He put that McLaren on the podium twice, so he knew. So I'm assuming in his thoughts that car could be a race-winning car, but the
Mm,
confidence wasn't there because he had the youngster showing him out.
yeah, but moving back over to qualifying, Lando getting pole, another pole for Lando this season. Um, Unfortunately, I think it's too late for him to come back and win the championship.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No, I don't think so, because we can see that with the way that RB20 is, it doesn't like curbs. It doesn't like the car's not meant for Singapore, it wasn't meant for Baku either. And we saw what happened.
Mm,
One car out of the race, the other one P6. So over one lap, yes, he can put that car in a good position over one lap, but he's not going to be able to hold it in the race. That Mercedes
sorry.
isn't. That Mercedes was fast around Singapore. The
Yeah.
Ferraris were fast around Singapore, just unlucky qualifying, and that Ferrari is way better over a race than it is one lap.
Yeah. Yeah. Lewis, what's your opinion on the whole Lando Verstappen thing? Do you think it's too late for Lando? Do you think it's too late for Lando to win the championship, or do you think he still has time?
I would believe he has time, but not much. So there's still pretty few races left, despite what Max does and Lando. But
So
he has
we
plenty of
have
still
after
time.
this we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races.
And three of them are
Those
sprints.
those 6 races are COTA, Mexico, Sao Paulo, Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi.
And out of those 6 races, three of those are sprints.
Yeah,
So there's still a chance for him to maximize his points.
true. I think it will be close. I think it will be
It'll be very
close.
close. It'll be
But
very close.
I still think Max, if he keeps getting regular points finishes, I think it's a little bit too far out of hand for Lando. But it will be close. And if he doesn't win it this season, he'll win it next season.
I don't think he'll win it next season.
You don't?
No, because now we're starting. Now we're starting from scratch, and Oscar's found his pace in that car. So Oscar's going to be giving Lando a fight because you seen before they gave the go ahead to Oscar, don't fight Lando. When they had papaya rules and Oscar was allowed to fight Lando, he was giving it to him. Look what happened, Monza.
Yeah,
Monza,
yeah,
Oscar was 100% faster than Lando. He won
yeah.
Baku. It's just, I don't know.
Okay, so moving on to P2, obviously we got Verstappen. Uh, if I was to say what happened in the race, he won't stay there.
No, he won't.
Lewis and George, both Mercedes, coming in at P3 and P4, they will both get past. If not, Piastri and P5 will definitely get past. Then Hulkenberg in P6, shock horror, P6 for Nico Hulkenberg. Which, may I add, is having a terrific season in that Haas. He is taking what seems to be a really bad car and just putting it into regular points finishes. And props to him for that. Fernando Alonso, P7. Then Yuki P8, Charles and Carlos 9 and 10, Albon and Colapinto P11 and 12, Perez 13th. Apparently he drives for a Williams. Apparently, according to what am I on? According to Motorsport Week, he drives a Williams car. Um, then Magnussen in P14, Ocon 15, Ricardo 16, Lance Stroll 17, Gasly, and then the Saubers at the bottom of the grid.
See, now that we said Nico is taking that supposed to be shit Haas into a good position, next year he's going to be in that Sauber, which is the worst car on the grid. So it's like, what can he do next year?
He's taking a very mid car and making it better. So I want to see. So basically, he's now saying, okay, you've seen what I can do with this okay kind of best of the, like, kind of bottom of the midfield car. I'm going to go into the worst car and I'm going to try and do what neither Bottas or Zhao could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we? Okay. One point of interest for me, and it's again to do with qualifying as well. This qualifying, and also since he's come into the seat, Colapinto.
He's fast.
What do we think about him?
He's absolutely rapid to me. I can't say rapid, but for coming in middle of the season, your first race being Monza, not getting points, understandable. It's your first race, and then showing up to Azerbaijan, Baku, never have driven that track before, and he puts it in the points. Like, well done.
And even in the qualifying highlights and in qualifying, he's out qualified Albon.
Yeah.
Out qualified Albon once out of the two races. So out of the two races he's done, he's already out qualified Albon, right? To come in with like 10 races left of the season, and then put on a show like that is remarkable, and especially in a Williams as well. It's not like it's not like he's driving in a Ferrari, an Aston Martin, or a McLaren. He's in a Williams.
Go on, what do you say on him?
For Colapinto?
Yeah. Franco.
Yeah, like you said, it's a bit early in the season for him to have such a good rating, but he's been average so far, I'd say.
My question is to both of you: does he deserve a seat for next season?
Absolutely.
Does he deserve to go? Does he deserve to go into that Sauber next to Hulkenberg? Because that's where he'll go.
Yeah, that's the only spot he can go. I want to say yes.
I think that there's two things you could say about it. You could say, in my personal opinion, yes, but in reality, no. Because what will happen is Sauber will go, okay, we'll sign Bottas for one more season, and then when it turns to Audi, then they'll sign someone new.
Well,
you know
see,
what?
the issue that I'm seeing
go on.
is the issue I'm seeing is he's getting all this hype and love because he's put a Williams into the points. He's out qualified Albon, but Nick De Vries did the same.
Yeah, exactly. And then look what happened at the start of the season.
Yeah. Nick De Vries did the exact same when he filled in. When he filled in for Albon, he did the exact same thing.
Right. I I'm gonna go off a bit. I'm gonna go off topic a little bit here. And this is just me racking your guys' brains here. But I have a little theory of what I think is going to happen going into the 2026 season. So we all know that Fernando Alonso is getting on a bit, right?
Yeah.
He will have, and I can almost guarantee you that he will have one more season in that car, and that is next season, right? Then what will happen is Carlos Sainz will then go to Aston Martin, right, and leave Williams. Then what will happen is like either if they sign Valtteri Bottas for 2025 season, right, Sauber, what will happen is to finish off Bottas's career, Williams will sign Bottas. And do you know that geezer who's just won F3, that Leonardo Fornaroli?
Yeah.
Right, who's an Italian, he's an Italian F3 driver. He's just won F3 and he is part of the Ferrari Academy. What will happen is he'll go into the Audi car.
Ooh,
I think
we have different opinions.
I think
If that's what you wanna know.
Fornaroli will be in F1 by 2026.
Ooh, we have different opinions. I don't think Carlos is leaving Williams. I think he'll be in the Williams in 2026.
Okay, but either way, if Carlos is still in that Williams, Fornaroli will be in F1 in 2026.
You want to know my opinion?
Go on.
I think that in 2026, if Fernando leaves, you know who I think takes his seat?
Oh, what's his name? That Dragovic.
Nope. Yuki Tsunoda.
Really?
Honda engine.
True. What do you
Honda
think,
engine.
Lewis? Who do you think? Because I'm almost certain that I am almost certain that what's his name? Alonso will have one more season. I mean, the dude is what? He's like 40 something years old.
Yeah.
Fernando Alonso is not. He's not any age, apparently.
He's in his 40s. We'll go with that.
According to Wikipedia, he isn't an age. He's 43. There you go. He's 43 years old, going on 44. At the end of the 25 season, he'll be 44 years old. He's done. It's time to get someone new in that car. They can't just keep relying on a 43-year-old man. Right? So on the basis that he will leave at the end of 2025 season, who is taking that seat? You said Tsunoda. So Lewis, who do you think?
Despite with Lance still being in that seat for whatever reason, I think the perfect partner for Lance would be trying to remember. Colin said Yuki.
Yeah.
I must say Max on this one.
Max.
Because with Andrew Newey being going to Aston, he might
You know
follow his
what?
lead.
Good
I
shout.
could see it though. Yeah, I
Good
could
shout.
see it too.
That is a very good shout. He even said that he even said that he wouldn't stay at Red Bull for as long as they want him to. And with him wanting something new, you know, to keep his hunger alive, I think going to Aston Martin would satisfy that need of his. So that's a really good shout, actually.
And if you want
Yeah,
my opinion, if Yuki leaves VCARB, it'll be him and it'll be sorry, not him. It'll be Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar in that seat.
yeah. Okay, so back to qualifying quickly, so we can get this over and done with. Okay, so what are we saying about the two Mercs in P3 and 4 then? Do you think it was just luck, or do you think that they deserve to be there?
They deserve it. 100%. They deserve it. The turnaround of
Uh,
that car this season is massive. So I think they deserve it.
What do you think, Lewis? Do you think that that's a deserved P3 and P4, or do you think they got lucky with the red flag?
nah, that's well deserved. They drove pretty well.
Okay, okay. Yuki Tsunoda P8. What do we say about that? Do you think that that's just the fact? Do you think that solidifies him as the most underrated driver in F1? Because again, like I said
100%.
in the first episode, and people agreed with me when I put it on TikTok that he is the most underrated driver in F1.
Yeah, 100%.
He's so much better than Perez, right? He has been. Perez only got into that seat because of that comeback drive that he had at Racing Point. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Yeah, but you also say that Perez. We're only looking at Perez this season. Perez this season has not been it, but also the car has not been it.
Neither,
So
yeah, but then
understandable.
Perez was shit last season as well.
He won 2 races last season. Can't be shit if you win 2 races.
Yeah, but come on now, there was doubts about him last season as well.
There's always doubts about a driver. A driver has 3 bad races in a row. The doubts start coming in.
But I still think Tsunoda's better than Perez.
Yeah, and if you want me to be honest, did they want to re-sign Perez? No. But the only reason they re-signed Perez, I feel, is to keep Max happy. That's the only reason why. Because as soon as they found out, as soon as Newey left, and all these other staff members on Red Bull's team are leaving, all the allocations with Christian Horner, Red Bull were in the mud at that point. So they were like, okay, this is not looking good. Max is in talks with Mercedes. Now he could be in talks with Aston Martin. We got to keep
Yeah,
him happy.
yeah,
Give him a teammate that he likes, that will not argue with him, will not fight him. So Perez, that's the only reason Perez stayed in that seat.
yeah. Okay, I think we're dodging a bullet here with qualifying, and I think we need to really just focus on the focal point, and that's Carlos. Um, what the fuck happened?
So
That's my question. Is watching it back, what actually happened? Like how did it happen? Like I understand that he spun out going on to his last lap, but or his first lap, sorry, but it, I don't know. It's one of those ones where I'm like, right,
right. So what I have to say on it is, it was. I think it was just a mistake. I think the reason why he spins, and you can see it from his dash, from his steering wheel, he got on the power way too fast. He was in the zone. He was confident. He wanted to set a lap. He was in second gear. You get on the power too quick in a low gear, you tend to lose the back end. So when he got on the power way too quick in second gear, the back end kicked out, and then you see him moving his steering wheel try to correct it. But at that point, it was way too late to correct. So I think it's just
Do
a
you do you
just an
think it was
incident.
do you think it was just an unfortunate mistake that he's made that
Yeah, I think it was just
he will look back on it and think maybe I shouldn't have been so big-headed, and maybe kind of waited to like I feel like also he was actually too far forward in terms of where his starting point was for his lap, because
Yeah,
he was almost at the corner by the time he was going up into second gear,
yeah,
and I feel like that was also another big factor to it. If he was a bit further back, I feel like he could have made it, but
yeah.
Lewis,
I just
what's your opinion on the sign spin that caused the red flag?
I would believe that him changing something on the steering wheel called him out
It did look like he was
quite a little
fiddling
bit.
around with the. It did look like he was fiddling around with the steering wheel a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
Yeah, and then
Like, yeah,
whatever he did with the correction, he could have caught it, but traction said no. You.
Yeah, facts. I just think he
well,
got on. I think being in that low of a gear, he got on the power too quick.
well, I think that's our talk for qualifying over. I mean, wasn't really much to talk about, so we will move on to the race that's just happened in Azerbaijan.
Okay, I'm gonna start it off. It was Carlos's fault. Don't care if FIA says it's a racing incident. It was Carlos's fault. Don't care.
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
I even said that to you yesterday. I literally, the first thing I said to you when you joined my party was, quick question, Carlos or Perez? And you said Carlos.
yeah. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it could be Checo. Oh, it could be just a racing incident." No, because if you watch back from the helicopter cam, Checo had they both had space. Carlos did not have to go over because if people say, "Oh, Carlos didn't get over, his steering wheel didn't turn," look at the white line. He started off with his left tire on the white line, and then somehow his right tires were on the white line. So he had to be getting over.
Yeah. Well, there was 4 DNFs. Sorry, I'm eating a fucking stick. Um. Well, those like Apple pencils. There was 4 DNFs. Obviously Perez and Sainz, but the other two was Stroll and Sonoda. Sonoda, it says that he didn't start.
Yeah, engine issues. Engine issues. Retired before the race even started.
And then Lance Stroll retired on lap 45.
Yeah.
So what happened there then with Stroll?
Just another issue happened in the race. No crash, no nothing. He just
Okay, we're going to go up
boxed to the
from
tire.
the bottom to the top now. Faults on Valtteri's race. One of only 2 cars to be lapped. The other being Esteban Ocon.
Sauber. Not really nothing much to say. It's a Sauber. Car doesn't have performance.
So I'm guessing it'll be the same with Alpine then. And Ocon, Guan Yu in 14th, Ricardo in 13th, Gasly in 12th, Nico in 11th, and I think now we're going to get onto the juicy bits.
Ollie, 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 Ollie Bear, man.
P10, Ollie Behrman filling in for Magnussen. Thoughts on Ollie's race in general?
Let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about this real quick. It involves Oliver Behrman. He's filled in 2 races this season. One, yes, it was in a Ferrari. Oh, it was in a Ferrari. But this one was a Haas. He put a Haas in the points in his second ever Formula One race, and both of his Formula One races were technical street circuit.
Yeah.
Throw the kid on an actual GP circuit, and let's see how he does.
Lewis, are you excited to see what Oliver Behrman can do in a full-time seat next season?
Oh, 100%. Just to see if he can actually do some good work with the house and prove everybody
Because
wrong.
because it's great filling in and all that. You know, a lot of drivers can fill in and get good points, like you said, like you said earlier. De Vries did it. But as soon as you have that like season where, as soon as you get that as soon as the season starts where it's your first full season, that's when it starts to become like, can you keep that up every week for
So
a whole
so
season?
here's one thing that concerns me about Oliver Behrman next year, though. His first race in a Ferrari this season, his teammate was Charles Leclerc. Great teammate. Great teammate to have ways to get experience. He's a man to teach you to get experience. Then he gets Nico Hulkenberg. Nico Hulkenberg may not be the greatest teammate, but he's a veteran in the sport. And he knows how to play the team game. He knows how to play the game. He's wonderful. Next season, yes, his teammate is a one-time Grand Prix winner. But Esteban Ocon loves to fight a teammate. He loves to fight a teammate. Especially going into your rookie year, I don't think Esteban's the teammate you want for your rookie year.
But then also, adding on to that point, Esteban isn't even that good of a driver, and he's shown it. He's shown it. He's shown it this season in the Alpine.
100%.
It's just facts. I mean, Nico Hulkenberg might not even be that much better, right? But like you said, he's a veteran in the sport, right? He's a dad, to add on to that.
He's a dad.
Right?
That's he's a dad.
But it's true though. As soon as you become a dad, that instinct there to look out for
the young guys.
the younger people then becomes even stronger than what it was beforehand. And then on top of that, right, he knows how to help people out. Do you know what I mean? It's like he
plays the game. He plays
he's
the
that
team
perfect
game.
tool. Yeah, exactly. And that's perfect for Oliver Behrman. But Esteban Ocon is such a selfish prick. It worries me a little bit for Oliver Behrman. But if Oliver Behrman can get past the fact that Esteban Ocon will treat him like he's just another driver, then he will excel beyond compare.
Yeah.
Um,
I've always said about Esteban, he drives for the number on the car, not the badge on the chest.
Yes. Okay. Lewis, your opinion on oh, I've already asked you, but your opinion on Ocon being Behrman's teammate next season. Do you think it'll work for Behrman, or do you think it's just halting his progression?
Definitely hunting his progression, because when you got fucking Esteban on the team like that and the way he drives, there's no possible way Haas are getting good points if Esteban tries to kill his teammate every other race.
True. And then especially, that teammate being an 18-year-old English guy who sounds like he's just come out of his mother's womb.
He's
It's it's going to be a culture shock for Oliver, but I think hopefully he can push through that boundary with Esteban and learn from it. Actually, I feel like he can. I feel like that kind of the battle that Esteban's going to give him is going to give him good awareness. It's going to give him good, racecraft. right? Because he always has to look out to see if Esteban's there to spin him, or there's no point in looking in your rear mirrors and think, oh fuck, Esteban's there. You know, just embrace it, and
Yeah.
hopefully, it'll pay off. Moving on to P9, unfortunately, Lewis Hamilton. Um, it's still points, but it's not the
Yeah.
points that he would want to expect from where the car is at.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend. It was a rough weekend for Lewis. There's not much to say, but it was just a rough weekend.
Sorry, I've got to do this. What does Lewis think about Lewis?
What do you mean?
What does Lewis think about how Lewis did in the race? Because they're both called Lewis, so I tried to.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was lost. I was thinking about what does Lewis think of himself. I was no.
No.
Which race?
Pardon?
Which race?
Baku.
Baku.
The site where George was, I think Lewis could have done a bit better.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
but overall, I don't know what really happened with Lewis, but he could have been like top 6.
But
Easily.
can I just add, he did start from the pit.
He did?
He did.
What happened?
I don't remember, but he did start from the pit. Because I'm having a look, and it said that there were only 2 people that started from the pit, and that was Ocon and Hamilton.
So if we want to take that, into consideration. Yes, it wasn't the greatest weekend from Lewis, but if you start in the pits and you move all the way up to P9 at Baku, are you mad? That's a decent drive.
Yeah, true that.
That's a decent drive.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those ones where the position doesn't do what he did justice.
Yeah.
Then moving on to probably the biggest, oh my god, of the weekend. Colapinto and Albon P7 and 8.
Well, it is a big shock, but that Williams has always had straight line speed. You want a car to have straight line speed. The 2 tracks you want to have it at are Baku.
Yeah.
Albon got points in Monza. Fair enough, Colapinto didn't get points first race in Formula One, so he let it slide. But then second race, formed. That Williams has the straight line speed that everyone says. It's fast down the straight.
Yeah. Okay. They're moving on to P6, which is Fernando Alonso. He went up 1 position from where he started. His grid position when he started was P7. He finished P6.
I mean, there's nothing really much to Fernando.
Again with Verstappen, started P6, finished P5. I think personally it was a disappointing day for Verstappen.
Oh, 100%. It was a disappointing day.
He was at the bottom of the points for most of that race.
Yeah, and if you want my opinion on that, everyone's like, oh, the car was shit, because all these Red Bull fans, you don't go watch Red Bull and the first person you think of is Sergio Perez. You think of Max Verstappen, and the car wasn't good, the car was shit. Max finished P5, should have been P6 if there wasn't that crash, but it was like, oh no, it should have been P7 actually.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, the car was shit. Max, the car was shit for Max. It didn't perform. That Red Bull car is shit this season. Okay, Checo was on the podium. He was in the podium position, so the car wasn't. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was just a shit weekend for Max Verstappen.
Mhm. What do you, Lewis? What do you think about Max's P5 finish?
Despite it being a Red Bull and it being Max Verstappen, you would believe that he would be somewhere in the podium fight, maybe a win, but it's just Max's fault for not putting in the performance he could have done.
True. Yeah, I understand.
All right,
Then
let's go on.
moving
Let's go to
to
P4. Driver of the day, in my opinion, but he didn't get it because other reasons. But driver of the day was Lando Norris in P4.
uh,
100%.
got fastest lap, setting a 45.2. Overtook Verstappen right at the end of the race. Only he got P4 because of the crash between Sainz and Perez, but also, you're not gonna be. There's not really much to overshadow. He had a solid race. It was unfortunate that he didn't qualify so great. Coming from 15th.
Well, the only reason he didn't qualify so late was the
Because
yellow
of yellow
flag.
flags. Yeah,
Yeah, he had to
but
board his lap.
but no, coming from 15th to finish 4th, I think is a massive feat. Especially with the caliber of drivers that were in front of him. Um,
Yeah.
so props to Lando Norris. Anything else to add on to that,
I just think he should have got driver of the day, but
Lewis?
some say otherwise.
I believe it was a fantastic drive from Lando, despite making the mistake in quali. That McLaren was something else to the in Baku.
And now on to our podium finishers. We'll start off in third with George Russell. Only got that podium because of the crash.
The crash. Yeah.
But other than that, solid race. You
Decent
know,
five.
had a drive that you would expect from where that Mercedes is at the moment. They're not going to be up
Attaboy,
there.
George.
He's not going to be up there with your McLarens or your Ferraris because they're just not that quick. But starting P5, finishing P3, just a solid race in general.
Yeah.
Then Charles Leclerc in P2. Unfortunate for Charles, pole position and all that, but
And then
he still had a decent race. He
Oscar put
tried
him in
to
the bin.
he tried to keep up with Piastri, but Piastri was just like, yeah, nah, mate, sorry about that.
Turn one,
You know,
Turn
go
one,
on.
Oscar put Charles in the bin.
Yeah. Very, very similar fastest lap times for both the Ferrari and the McLaren there. Again, just an average Ferrari drive in terms of the car did what it needed to do. It wasn't anything special really. It was just one of those drives where you think, oh well, Charles Leclerc finished second.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest point of the day for that would be Oscar Piastri getting his second win of the season.
And this one wasn't given to him.
Yeah, and this one wasn't given to him. He worked for this one,
Yeah, he
and
won
and,
that
and,
one.
and good on him.
Yeah, well done.
It was a fantastic drive. It was a drive that you would see the likes of Lewis Hamilton, Verstappen, these multi race winning drivers. It was one of those drives. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those ones where you think, this kid's got something special.
Yeah.
And I have no bad words to say about. I don't dislike McLaren. I just don't support them. So, but other than that, Piastri had a. Can I just point out? I'm having a look at this grid. 10.9 seconds to the gap to Charles Leclerc. That was the finishing gap between him and Leclerc.
Yeah.
10.910.
After the crash, kind of Well, what the reason that the gap was so big is because Carlos and Checo closed in that gap, and it turned into a two-way Ferrari battle. Both of those Ferraris battling that Red Bull. So he
Yeah,
kind of was like, "Oh, well, fair enough. I'm not going to win the race. Let me try to get Carlos on the podium. Let me go back there and help him fight his fight with Checo."
yeah. But no, overall decent race. Um, this season overall has just been really really good. It started off the same as every other season that has been in the last 3 years, and that was just max, 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 diddy max, d max, d max, and then Newey left, and then it was like Piastri, Norris, Russell,
Uh,
Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Russell. You know,
all,
it's just
all, all there's two things I want to say. One of them involved Red Bull, and one of them involves some
go on.
Red Bull for the rest of this season better get their shit together because Ferrari are only 31 points behind them, and they
Yeah,
better get their shit together.
yeah, 100%.
And the other thing I want to say, because we missed a podcast on it, but Kimi Antonelli's lap at Monza. Oh my days! Oh my god! He was rapid.
Yeah, yeah. So just a quick rundown of everything that we missed while we took this humongous fucking break. Carlos Sainz has gone to Williams. Doohan has joined Alpine. Antonelli has gone to Mercedes. Is there anything else I've missed?
Lando's 20 something second gap win and Danville.
Obviously Colapinto joining Williams for the rest of the season. Sargent getting fired. Then on top of that, Red Bull's downfall. Oliver Behrman signing for Haas. Ocon signing for Haas. Um,
Jack Doohan in the Alpine next season.
yeah, I said
Gasly.
that. Another one. Adrian Newey to Aston Martin. Honda to Aston Martin.
The 26 though.
The re-signing of Cognizant and Aramco as well. That's just a rundown of what we missed. Moving on to our last 2 points of the season, of the episode of whatever, and that is final 2 drivers on the grid for next season. What are we saying?
Liam Lawson
2.
and Red Bull Vico.
Okay, and then who's gonna partner up with Le Hulkenberg?
Valtteri.
You think they're gonna re-sign Valtteri for another season?
It's going to be Valtteri.
Lewis, your thoughts?
I would believe that. Let's see. I'm gonna have a very bold prediction for both seats. I'm gonna say Drugovich to VCARB.
Okay.
And I want to say they're going to keep Joe for Sauber.
Wow. Okay. That's right. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna get you to go through your Zhao prediction because I have no idea why you fucking said that. But I do want you to do a little bit more of a deep dive into why you said Drugovich. I want to know a little bit more on why Drugovich was the driver you chose.
I'm just saying, get some fresh blood, get some new guys into F1 just to see how they would do for like a year-ish or so, depending on how well the team is overall, and just to see how well they perform.
And
Well,
then, oh, carry on. Oh, go on, go home.
the reason why I want to ask why about Drogovic is he's not a Red Bull Academy driver, and they love to throw Red Bull Academy drivers in that seat. Drogovic is an Aston Martin Academy driver,
Yeah.
so so that's why I was wondering. Like, wow, Drogovic is a wild shout, and especially that Liam has been the talk of the town. Hey, but bold is bold, I guess. Fuck it.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 7 minutes. Because we'll finish on the hour mark. So I want to move on and talk about our predictions
Hold,
because I want this to be an argument.
hold
I
on. You
want
didn't
this
say
to be
your
an argument.
predictions. You didn't say your predictions
I'm
for the
gonna say
seat.
my predictions for who's gonna win the championship,
Hold
and
up, mate. Hold up, mate. You didn't say your predictions who's taking those last two seats.
my predictions. Oh shit. Okay. I am going to say that in the Salbaruni, hold on, F2 2023.
I just gotta look it up.
Well, I don't know who the drivers are in F2. So, okay, Sauber, Teo Porsche.
Yeah, it's a shout. It really is a shout. Big shout.
He's just won the championship, and he's young. He's got a lot of potential, and he's a Ferrari. And he's a Ferrari. He's a
Yeah,
Ferrari Academy driver. Sauber have
yeah,
a
it makes
Ferrari
sense.
engine. I think if they're really trying to get new people in, I think it's the way to go. And having Hulkenberg in there would warrant them not going for Bottas because they've already got that veteran status driver in Nico Hulkenberg. Then for the VCARB, I think, funnily enough, I think what they're going to do with Liam Lawson is they're going to stick him in endurance cars because that's what he's been doing for the last 3 or 4 seasons. And
Liam Lawson was an F2 last season, mate.
was he? Because I swear to God he was
Yeah.
part of. I swear to God he was part of the. He was doing GT3 Championship at one
Mate,
point.
he won F2 last year.
No, last year it was Porsche.
No, Porsche won this year. Liam Lawson won last year.
All right. But I don't think it'll be him. I think if it was him, it would have been him a while ago.
I think it'll be Liam Lawson next race.
But I'm going to put out a shout here. And I think it will be Iwasa.
Bold is bold.
He is a Red Bull Academy driver. He is 23 because he was born in 2001, so he's 23. And he has been in the top 5 of the the F2 Championship every single season. He's been in the F2 Championship, right? And he's basically Yuki Tsunoda's brother. He looks like Yuki Tsunoda. He is the height of Yuki Tsunoda, and they both come from the same country. But no, I genuinely think it'll be Iwasa that takes that spot.
Don't see it.
But if Liam Lawson does take that spot, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But I think the two that would be the ones that would go there would be either Iwasa or um or Lawson. So my pick for that car is them two, and my definite pick for the Sauber car is Porsche. I think they were just waiting for Porsche to win. Yeah, they were waiting for Porsche to win the title, and he's won it now. So.
Yeah.
Actually, I would like to also put in another driver for that car. Someone that he's looked over quite a lot. Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah.
That's another driver that would could warrant a seat in that car as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that's over, I'm going to not end the stream because I'm going to go and talk about our championship predictions. We've got 2.5 minutes left. So for those 2.5 minutes, we will argue over Lando or Max. I'll start. I think it'll be Max.
I think it'll be Lando.
I think it will be Max because Max is like 50 something points ahead. 6 races to go. Yes, okay, Lando could win every race from now on, but as long as Max keeps getting like 5th or 6th every race, it's not gonna happen. For Lando to win, Max would have to like finish out of the points in like 2 races.
Okay,
I genuinely think that. I genuinely think that's what it would need to do to happen.
Okay, let's say this. Max finishes fifth, or we'll say Max finishes fifth. We'll give him 10 points, and then Lando wins with the fastest lap. That's 27 points. Now that gap's down
It's
to
26.
26. Sorry, 26. Lando finishes with 26 points. Now that gap's down to 40. Oh, Lando just won the sprint. Also, that's another 8 points added.
Yeah, but I think right, Lando's one of those drivers where he's great. He's a good driver, but he's very liable. He's very I wouldn't say he's unreliable, but his emotions get the better of him a lot, and sometimes that costs him.
Yeah.
And being this close going into the last 6 races of the season, he's under more pressure than he's ever been before. And that could also pay a big toll on whether he wins the championship or not. If he keeps level-headed, it's a close call.
Well, Lando is on pole, and we know how Lando is on pole. So we'll see how he does tomorrow.
Lewis, what do you think? Max or Lando?
Despite what's going on now, I'm gonna say Max gets his 4th.
Do you think he'll be his
Lando...
4th and final? Or do you think he'll get his 4th and then go on to win another one in like 2 seasons' time?
I would say it'll be his final for now until 26, I believe. I would say.
Okay, what's your opinions on that, Colin?
I'm not gonna say if Max does win or loses. Will it be his last one? I don't think so because I understand. And losing Adrian Newey does hurt with building a car. But every single person in that garage, especially in that Red Bull garage, is a absolute genius. And now that Max knows the issues with the car, I think he will be play a huge factor in the next season. Like,
Yeah.
fix this, let's do this. Fix this, let's do this. Test it on the data. It works. I think the off season, Max is not going to be.
The off season is going to be the most important part of Red Bull season next season.
I don't think
It
Max will be vacation bound like every
it
other
won't
driver will
be
be.
the basically, there's like important parts to each team's season, right? It could be halfway through the season, it could be at the start of the season, it could be at the end of the season. Red Bull's important. The Red Bull's important part of the season won't even be when the season is on. Red Bull
It'll
need to
be
go away
prior.
at the end of this season, get together and think, what can we do differently? What the fuck has gone on? And what do we need to change? Right? It will be hands on. It will be hands to the. It will be hands on every day. Right? It will be non-stop working. There will be no slacking. It will literally be, can we make the quickest car possible before the season starts? Because they really need to turn something around.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's one of those ones where Max has even come out and said, "I know what's wrong. We just need to fix it." And if they do that, then I am almost certain that he'll be back fighting for wins again.
Yeah, 100%.
I honestly, now thinking about it, think they may have just completely stopped upgrades on the car for this season.
I want full focus on next season.
I think that what you're seeing now is the final product for what you've got for the rest of the season for Max.
Yeah.
So that's my personal opinion. We are coming to the end now. If there is anything else that either you or Lewis want to say, anything else that you guys want to add to it, anything else you guys want to talk about, quickly get it in now. I don't want to go over 1 hour 30, if possible. We are on 1 hour 5. So we got like 25. We've got 25 minutes to really just get everything out. But if there isn't anything else, or if there's something small, just let me know. Or is that it for any of you lot?
I think that's it.
I got nothing else.
Alright, well, next episode, people, will be on the Premier League. We did have a predictions video, but due to some stuff that was happening in my personal life, I wasn't able to edit it and get it out. And that means that we've lost it. Oh God, I'm so good at this. But what I can tell you is that there will be a bit of a difference for episode 3. And I'll tell you that difference is the fact that you'll be able to see our faces, and also no, I'm what? How does that? What? No, basically, I'm getting a PC, which means that proper editing, proper, podcast. So it'll be fun. But I
Sign us
have
out.
been. What?
I said sign us out. Send us away.
That's what I'm doing. I was literally just about to do that. If you've liked the video, please like it. We got to 9 likes on our first episode. If we can get to, what do we say, 11?
Yeah.
If we can get to 11 likes in episode 2, it's an improvement. If you want to keep up with our episodes, turn on notifications, subscribe, and maybe one day you could be included in episode. But for now, I've been Tom. That has been Colin. And Colin has a friend who is also here called Lewis.
Hello.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in episode 3.